What is a Citizens Revival, and what made you want to bring this kind of event to Aztec? The Citizens Revival is about celebrating community, as well as revitalizing civic participation. I spent 12 years in the Denver metro area just to come back home to Aztec, New Mexico, and recognize its resiliency. There's already a community that's definitely worth celebrating here, and so every facet of the revival points to different features of that society as a way to celebrate it and honor the ideas that these people have put so much effort and time into their hometown and area. When people hear the word revival, what do you hope they understand about the spirit of this weekend? Honestly, revival usually has religious connotations in most people's minds, and I'm hoping to update that just a little bit, because the idea that this society is stewarded by real people who put the work, time, and energy into is the concept that I'm trying to revitalize. Clubs like the Rotary, the Kiwanis, the Lions have done a great service for their areas for 50, 60, 70 years. But they're in need of some fresh minds and attitudes. And so I'm hoping to inspire people to participate a little bit more in their society going forward. Why does it feel important right now to create a public gathering centered on local businesses, music, food, and community connection? I really like this question because I think that right now a lot of people have their eyes on a sense of doom and gloom. Social media isn't really helping to recognize the good when it happens. People's algorithms have them tied to scary things that make us want to tune out, be apathetic, and be more individualized. Society moves forward as we work together. That many hands make light work. So getting off of our phones and into a space where many people are celebrating different aspects of society will hopefully create a new common ground, so that way people will have an experience that they remember, a joy that they shared with other people. And I think that that could go a long way in healing division and making a resilient community. What do you think makes Aztec and the Four Corners region worth celebrating in this way? When I was a kid growing up in this region, I had a very different idea of what this land was about. In fact, many of my friends would discuss it as if it were the land of entrapment. You come on vacation, you stay on probation. And so at the age of 23, I felt I had to go see the world, go see somewhere else. But then coming back at the age of 35, I had fresh eyes for this region and realized not only is it absolutely breathtakingly beautiful, but that the people here are really wonderful, that they mean well and they do well and they work together incredibly well, to the point where I just want to highlight and celebrate that. This is happening in Aztec, but it's meant for all of San Juan County and the Four Corners area, because we have together made this life what it is. Cities all across the United States are definitely worth celebrating for similar means, but right here in Aztec and the Four Corners area is a bright and shining example of what could be, and so I wanted to highlight and celebrate that. The weekend starts with a downtown block party on Friday. What do you want people to feel when they show up on Main Street that evening? I want people to feel a sense of whimsy and adventure. We have designed a scavenger hunt with 25 unique Aztec businesses participating, of all different kinds. And so people will show up, go to Pioneer Village to get their worksheet. They get to choose easy, medium, or hard for their route. And then they'll get their first clue and be off for this sense of adventure, learning and discovering what kind of people make up Aztec's Main Street and the Aztec businesses. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. We have vendors, of course, and live music and things to entertain the people. But I'm hoping that people bring their sense of adventure with them. Saturday brings the event to Riverside Park. What can families, residents, and visitors expect from that part of the weekend? Saturday's concert at Riverside Park is an homage to an event that used to happen in my youth. The Blues, Brews, and Barbecues Festival was a very fond memory of mine, something I still carry with me, and so I have tried to emulate it just a little bit, with some really great bands that are going to rock out and have a good time. And then in between, we're going to talk about social organizations and people who have done some really great work for San Juan County. I'm hoping to highlight some incredible people who are working right now to help youth programs as well as broader initiatives for the county. and give people some insight to the good people that are doing work on the ground. And then, of course, celebrating with music. There's going to be artistic vendors as well as informational vendors and food trucks. We're going to have ourselves a really good time on Saturday, all day long at the most beautiful park in Aztec. Sunday closes with pancake breakfast and cross-cultural spiritual programming. What did you want to include in that kind of reflective or community-rooted ending? Civilization and spirituality have gone hand in hand for thousands of years. In fact, Joel Cohen in his book, The Power of Strangers, denotes that society wouldn't be here without the charity of religion. And I think that's something that's really important. Also, the idea that the golden rule exists in so many different faiths, I think deserves to be talked about. And the way to end this community feature on something spiritual and uplifting, as well as the breaking bread pancake breakfast, feels like a way to really cement the bonds that could potentially be made over the weekend. I'm hoping that many people will come with open minds and empty bellies to share in this experience and have a good, wholesome fellowshipping on Sunday before we do chalk art and hula hoops outside. I think it's just a way for a different aspect of society to be celebrated, and I'm hoping that many people will agree that the conversation is going to be worthwhile. What would make this weekend feel like a success to you? Not just in attendance, but also what people carry with them afterwards. This is probably my favorite question, because what I've been wanting is for people to walk away with unique memories of this experience. I honestly think that this is my favorite question because I want people walking away from this event with fond memories and new connections. I think that there is a plethora of opportunities for people to get to know the other people in this awesome community and for us to understand each other a little bit better afterwards. I want to build a new platform of common ground where people see each other as people regardless of political ideology and all of the other things that make us up as unique individuals. I want to break monoliths and show that there are good people across all spectrum right here in town, because people are people at the end of the day. And I think that this 3-day event gives people the perfect opportunity to see that for themselves. Finish this sentence. Citizens Revival is for anyone who. Citizens Revival is for anyone. Period. Anyone and everyone. Anyone who wants to come out and celebrate the resiliency of the land. Anyone who wants to have a sense of adventure, a good time, and an opportunity to meet the community in one of the best settings possible, a party.